Hello, my name is Zach Goodrich, and this is my EDL 852 Module 9 case study, Who Should Create the School's Mission and Vision Statement. To begin, we'll start with summarizing the case study. We are in a rural community preparing to open a new middle school building. Lightville Community School District is increasing in population. 25 years ago, the enrollment was at 758. It is just now over 1,200 and is increasing at a 2% rate each year. A new principal has been hired and asked to develop a philosophy and vision statement independently by the advisory committee. The advisory committee was developed to help formulate the vision statement. It consists of four teachers of different subjects. We do not know if they are at the elementary or secondary school, and four parents, and likewise, we do not know if they are elementary parents or secondary parents. The committee has 12 months to develop this philosophy and vision statement before the doors open and Mrs. Potter starts her first year on the job. There is a conflict on deciding who should be responsible for creating the school's vision statement. As again stated, the advisory committee of the four teachers and four parents have requested that Mrs. Potter develop this independently, as they hired her and she is the expert, according to the case study. The data used, the population increase, the low land cost, the district demography. For us, just understanding how much the population is growing, a lot of families with school-age children moving in to the district. Hopefully, the school and new building can hold 450 pupils. The community involvement throughout the process. There was After the evaluation and the recommendation, there were three categories of the community that divided between the three recommendations. Majority of them wanting to pick a financial efficient route. There was some that wanted the most expensive route, but also understanding what is important for the community. The initial plan, the advisory committee asked the new principal to develop vision statement independently, and the committee would approve the vision statement, then use the board influence to approve a portion of the vision statement the committee agrees with. Report any legal or ethical issues. There was no mention of breach of contract or legal issues throughout the case study. There was an ethical issue that seemed to be a conflict between the new principal and the committee on developing the vision statement and the appropriate approach to best consider all stakeholders. One area of conflict was one of the committee members and had a brother on the board that had influenced the direction of a new school building. And so a conflict of interest seems to be present, but also the pressure of the committee coming together to make the principal develop this vision statement independently. To synthesize the case study, Lightville Community District School District is growing in population and deciding on how to best proceed with constructing of additional building space and developing a vision statement with an employed outside of the district principal. The new principal is met with opposition from committee members and continues to pressure Ms. Potter to develop a philosophy and vision statement independently, which she is uncomfortable with. Evaluate the missing facts. For me, the people that I would be more interested in learning about are the elementary and secondary principal. How has their experience at the Lightville School District been? Have they been involved in any vision or mission statement development, as the secondary high school is only 11 years old? And so I would like to learn a little bit more of their experience. The staff at elementary and junior senior high schools, are we retaining teachers? Are they quality teachers? Are we a district that is a desired location for educators? The other demographics, 60% of our community lives on farms. And what is the other 40%? What's the diversity? What exactly do our other families do? How far are we? I mean, we are a couple miles from the city, but how active are we in the city? Our committee, what is the experience of the four teachers? What is the length of residency of our four parents? Are these new teachers? Are these experienced teachers? Are we dealing with families that have been in the district and the community for a long time? And so, could they provide what are the values of the community and the school district? Places. What major city is Lightville near? Are we near a city that has a good amount of diversity? Are we near a city that is little more like our school district? What is the distance between all three buildings? I know we're all on the same site, but are these buildings connected? Will this third building be connected to the secondary and elementary school building, or are we spaced out far enough that you have to communicate by email or telephone to reach out to both buildings if there was siblings at all three schools? Miss Potter's previous school district. She is from a suburban district. What was the size of that school? What was their demographics? Her experience as an assistant principal. Are any of these elements going to help her in her new role at Lightville School District, or tackle the challenges of being opposed to her ideals of how to come up with a vision statement? Is there any experience in her past that can help her become in a better position and to gain a better understanding of the Lightville School District? Where did the meetings take place? Did they take place in the elementary school building? Did they take place in the school district building? Did they take place in the secondary school building? If so, was there any mission statements or vision statements located on the walls, located uh, in the offices or meeting rooms that could help give insight and provide guidance to developing this mission vision statement for the middle school programs? What is the current philosophy and vision statement for the existing schools? As mentioned, uh, there would hopefully be a vision statement existing already for the secondary school. And although we know mission statements are there to help with the vision statements, there is an understanding that there are different visions for elementary, middle school, and high school students and buildings. What extracurricular activities exist for the high school? Um, a vision statement would help with guiding what decisions are being made at the middle school. Community involvement and outreach. Do we have heavy involvement? Volunteer, coming to support any activities, events, concerts. So, what is our involvement with our community? Retention of staff, principals, and current administrators. How long has Mr. Rawlings been at the school? Our current principals at the secondary and elementary schools. What is their current experience at Lightville School District? And do we have a quality school district where quality teachers want to stay and continue to educate our young students? To review and prioritize info. Lightville's in need of additional space with its growing population. The community was divided into three categories after the evaluation and recommendations. The third recommendation was the one selected, um, heavily influenced by one of the board members to get the building project going. Miss Potter is a new principal. She's out of district and being opposed to her ideal of getting input and gaining insight from the 8 advisory committee members. The advisory committee of 4 teachers and for parents, again, trying to get a better understanding of what their roles are in those schools. Are they elementary? Are they secondary? Are the parents that are involved, are they going to fight more for the elementary, or the input of 6th grade being involved with 7th grade? So those things I think would come into play as we review and prioritize the information. And then finally, the conflict of the advisory committee wanting Mrs. Potter to develop the vision statement independently, and she has a strong stance against that because she knows the value of the vision statement and wants to get all the input of all the stakeholders involved. Identify how you would handle the situation. I would discover the community core sets of values. What does the community value? What does the district stand for? I believe that would be a great insight to developing the vision statement. I would continue to visit with current administration. Again, the secondary and elementary principals were they around when the secondary school was being developed 11 years ago? And if they were, what was the process of developing that vision statement for that particular building? Um, Developing trust with the committee and continue to pursue their input on creating a vision with the school that continues to promote the goals of the existing building. I would hope that as Mr. Rawlings is the school district principal, that there is a um, umbrella mission statement that is a guiding force for all three buildings as we use that as a source to nail down our vision statement for the middle school building. And then evaluate the Lightville district resources. Are we a district that has financial stability to tackle the third option? And if we do, does it allow us to expand later on, or does it allow us to again focus on the advantages that this new building will provide for our school and our families and community? How would again continue to handle the situation? I first would collect all the information on current and recent velocity and vision developed of the district, beginning with the elementary. That would have been our first building, and understanding why did we build this school? Why did we want Lightville School District? And then as we carried on to the secondary, what was the process of the, you know, getting those individuals involved when implementation of the secondary education building addition. Is there anyone around that was involved, whether it was a committee, whether it was a group of individuals that said, we feel like this would be best for our school district, and not try to reinvent the wheel. The vision would be different, a little different for an elementary school versus a secondary school building, but we also would have that same driving factor of what is the Lightville School District mission. And for me, that would be very important to just gain insight for anyone that was involved in these two vision developments for both buildings. The capacity to lead an improvement process begins with attention to detail. I believe collaborating with all stakeholders and learn where does the community see the middle school in 5 to 10 years. That would be beneficial to development of the vision for the middle school. Explain how you are going to implement your plan. I would stay consistent with the approach of getting all stakeholders involved. I believe when you have all stakeholders involved, you'll get a better understanding of the community. It is an investment by all stakeholders. And what vision do we want to set for long-time success? Visit with more teachers outside the advisory committee and learn from their experience at Lightville District. What insight can they provide for me as the new principal? And from a veteran teacher to a new teacher, I believe you can gain a lot of great insight. What could be done better? What has been done well? And what can we improve on? I would survey the students at both existing schools to see the climate of the new building project, but also see what would be some of the things they would want to see improved on as well. I would use the information to communicate with the stakeholders and the advisory team to develop the vision statement. The pros and cons. The pros, I believe, are you're collaborating with the stakeholders. You're getting to know the community. You're getting to know the board. You're getting to know the individuals that want to see the school do well. And I believe as you collaborate as a new principal, you get to gain major insight to where can I best be a service to our school building and district. Trust develop with staff, students, parents, and community. I believe that is an important pro as you develop those relationships through these surveys and through just spending time with the community. I believe that is very helpful. The vision is developed with input. I think at the end of the day, if you get a vision that's developed with an input from all stakeholders, and then you're headed in the right direction. The school thrives because of investment of the stakeholders. I think the school's thriving because you have buy-in. You have individuals that um, felt that their input was valuable, and so when you have that, your stakeholders are going to give uh, more of their investment to the school. The community feels a part of the development process. Again, we continue to talk about what can our community provide. I think when you have that source of investment and that source of support, your teachers will stay longer, your administrators will feel supported on decisions being made, even though sometimes they're not always agreed upon 100%. And then you have sound leadership and thriving practices in place for the school to make decisions in the future. The cons: conflict continues to develop with the development processes. Uh, in anything, if you can't ever find a way to agree to disagree in a respectful and healthy manner, conflict will arise in every development process. Whether you're reviewing the vision statement or trying to add a new building for activities, I believe you would run into the similar situation. Trust between new administration and staff, board members strained. That trust factor is something that you want to have within your building. Support. You want support for your teachers. You want support from your administrators, because if those two are working well together, your students and your classrooms will benefit immensely. Community support and buy-in is limited. The community is not supportive of the teachers. The community support is not invested into the activities, or again, they're reaching out to those who have decided to come to our district. Um, Constant vision statement development resistance. You revisit what was 10 years later, because you see the framework needs to be adjusted a little bit. You run into the same situation that we have right now, whether it be with a new principal or someone that has been around for a while. You run the challenge of it's just always going to be a difficult process, and then a poor work reputation for the school and community and employing administration. Pushback. You won't have quality candidates apply, um, and that's where you find yourself at a disadvantage when you can't get the best in this field to come and administrate your school building. Develop my plan. First, I would continue to communicate with the advisory team and then investigate the vision statement development for the secondary school 11 years ago. I believe you could find great insight if there is anybody that is still around or that was involved in the secondary school building going up, and that would be one of my first again researches, is just finding out who was around and who could help us not reinvent the wheel completely, but understand that we need to put our personal stamp for middle school onto the vision statement. Second, we would survey the parents and students that would be affected by the new building and the administration to learn what the community values. What would they value in a middle school building, and how do they feel like it could be resourceful to gaining a new area for our students that may be in small spaces in the classroom, and heightened our academic experience and environment for our students. Third, we would communicate with Mr. Rawlings and see what he has learned during his leadership of Whiteville District. I believe you could gain significant insight as he has led the district, and see where he has seen advantages, disadvantages, and it's and if there's an understanding of the community values, since he's been involved in the district hopefully the longest. And so that would be a resource that we would definitely uh, continue to try to you know gain from, as he's the full on leader of leading the mission, and then providing us the outlets to put together a solid vision statement. Fourth, with the support limited to Ms. Potter's suggestion on having a team provide input and have her develop it independently, we'd reiterate why it is important for everyone to give input, because this is a community investment and all decisions made in the future will be guided by this vision. For the middle school, we understand that there's going to be always challenges that arise, uh, disagreements, improvements. celebrations. How do we decide the decisions in the future? And this vision statement will guide it. And finally, remind the advisory team this group was put together to make sound decisions that will support and maximize all students' current well being and future success. That could be a super advantage to having these four individuals from the staff and four parents to help maximize what do our current students need and what is going to best support their learning environment. And as a new principal outside of the community, I would definitely just appreciate insight and input from those that have been around. Section 9, include concepts and terminology from case study or other course sources to provide foundation. For me, there was two quotes that I found just very helpful, just to understanding. The board of directors needs to understand the importance of creating a thoughtful vision statement. It is the heart of everything else they do. And so the vision statement is providing that vision of where do we see ourselves, our school in the future. And hopefully it again is thriving and our students are maximizing their potential and learning in the environment and enjoy learning. A vision statement is meant to be shared and proud of. The vision communicates your organization's value and commitment to achieving its goals. That's why you want input, not only from the staff, but also from the community, is because you want to share it and you want to be proud of it. And that to me, if you got those individuals that are proud of it, will be willing to apply the concepts necessary to make decisions that align with the goals we have set. The summary of the situation described in the case study. Lightville School District needs additional space. The school is preparing to open a new building and need a vision statement developed for a new middle school. And outside, the school district hired principal is tasked with creating a vision statement. The advisory committee opposing Mrs. Potter's idea of having input from staff and parents to form the statement. To me, that is a challenging situation. But hopefully at the end of going through the process that we just described and continuing to be persistent of why it's important, teaching the why of gaining the insight and input of our community and our advisory committee, is because we want to put something together that, it is the heartbeat of our school and our middle school, but also aligns with our elementary and secondary school and helps us achieve those goals. And be something we're proud of. And with it coming just from an independent individual, that would be hard to do or support. Identify two or more appropriate key and essential stakeholders. Describe their significance of the plan's implementation. Mrs. Helen Burke, again, a staff, and her brother, the school board member. I believe getting them to understand the importance of their input for this. They seem to have a significant influence over the other committee members, Mrs. Burke, and then her brother, who had been able to influence the new build for the middle school, as again an influence over the other board members, and then the students and community members who voted. The percent was 53 to 47. So there is an element that here we need to understand. We want to bring everybody together. There is individuals that want this new project. There's individuals that don't want this new project. And overall, as we look into our why, is what's the purpose of this new school building? And hopefully it's to provide students with a better environment um, that they can learn and utilize the space and take advantage of the resources that we do have to build this project. And so those two individuals, I would hopefully be able to develop a trusting relationship with and kind of change the tone of being pressured to develop it independently, but also use that expert education that was developed in the other school district and apply it here and use the things that do work well and continue to learn maybe what did not work as well, improve on those communications. And to complete the list of specific feasible steps toward this goal, continue to gain input from community members. students and parents, and demonstrate the importance of their input and investing in this significant decision and finalizing the vision statement. The vision statement, again, is the guiding force for future success and tackling future challenges. And so that will guide us as we make decisions, and it will guide future administrators, because we hope that we are there for a long term, but also know that as different challenges arise, and maybe not be the individual to help the school thrive. You bring in another principal, and so with that vision statement, they'll be able to be guided by a new hiring, by putting confidence in the individual that's coming in. Of this is what will put you in a place to get to know the community better. And so the advisory team may continue to resist the strategy of providing input, but it's necessary that realization sits in that this is the guiding principle to all future decisions being made. Here are my program statement integrations. I will put a copy of the Google Slides on the post so you can read those a little better. Thank you for listening.